I ain't got to do too much talking.
Oh, bro. Focus on your fight for you.
I don't have to do too much talking. Focus on your fight for you. One of the latest episodes in the continuous heat between Terence. Bud Crawford and Errol the Truth Spence Jr. exploded lately after Spence toughly predicted Crawford's loss to Madrimov. When I stop him, y'all going to say he was too weak. And he stayed at 147. Terence Crawford, the undefeated welterweight champion, known for his incredible versatility and power, has long been at odds with Errol Spence Jr. right off the bat. I want to leave a legacy that's never been left before, inside and outside the ring. The latest spark in this ongoing feud was ignited during a recent comment from Spence Jr. about Crawford's upcoming bout with Israil. Music. Madrimov has been making waves with his unorthodox approach and an amazing knockout record. In a surprise twist, Spence anticipated that Crawford will face a difficult challenge and may maybe suffer his first professional loss against music. Without a doubt, Maddoff Vegas's new companion is a tremendous warrior, Spence stated. But Madrimov is hungry. He has that fire, and he is unpredictable. I wouldn't be surprised if Crawford has a hard time and even loses this one. Things like that. You know what I mean? I'll just come back. 'Cause I see you know what I mean. You stuck on where you stuck on. But at the end of the day, these fighters claim they the boss. Unsurprisingly, Crawford did not take kindly to Spence's comments. Errol always has something to say about my fights. Crawford remarked that instead of worrying about me, he should focus on his own game, Madrio. I'll show everyone why I'm the greatest in the division. The exchange did not stop there in the follow-up comments. Crawford elaborated on his feelings, expressing dissatisfaction about what he perceives as a lack of respect among his peers. You guys had such a dominant performance against Errol. He has this fight coming up with Sebastian Fundora. He's mentioned that if he's successful, he'd like to have the rematch. If he wanted the rematch, he would have taken it at 40 seconds. I don't want to hear that. I've been in this game for a long time, and I've earned my place. Crawford said for Spence to say anything like that is not only disrespectful to me, but to the sport. I fought strong opponents previously, and Madrimov is no exception. I'll handle my business in the ring, and maybe Spence will think twice about running his mouth. Terence Bud Crawford favors Spence, back Crawford with a yeah down. Go Spence. How quickly that changes. At this moment, it's evident that the focus on Crawford's fight with Madrimov has suddenly heightened. Israil Madrimov, for his part, has remained relatively quiet, focusing on his training. However, the young fighter did acknowledge the situation in a recent interview, expressing his respect for Crawford as well as his confidence in his own abilities. I respect Crawford, he's a champion for a reason, Madrio said, but I'm here to make my mark. This is a huge opportunity for me, and I'm going to give it everything I have decades, so I was kind of out of my league, but me being from the streets. And all that okay this way around now last year, Terence Bud Crawford finally faced his longtime rival Errol Spence Jr. It was a big fight that most had been waiting for. Crawford dominated Spence, dropping him multiple times and winning the if the message is getting the fight was not only a huge commercial success, but also a significant moment in boxing history. Both fighters showed incredible skill and heart, but it was Crawford who came out on top after their first fight. There was a contract for a rematch. Is this true? Like I read that Crawford can choose the weight. Is that accurate? Not completely. Not completely. I mean, there's some other parameters I don't want to get into, but weight shouldn't be. However, the rematch didn't happen as planned. Both Crawford and Spence decided to move up to the 154 pounds weight class. And despite this change, Crawford still believes that a rematch could still happen at their new weight there. Politics in boxing that we didn't know, but a lot of people now when they hear, oh, it's a big fight, we know who Errol Spence is. Even casuals know who Errol Spence is. They don't know the body of work that Crawford put in before. Errol Spence, or the body of work Spence put in before Crawford. They just talking. Crawford shared his thoughts on a possible rematch in an interview with Forbes. He mentioned that Spence is set to fight Sebastian Fonder for the WBO and WBC titles. And it's around the same time that Crawford is preparing to fight Israil Madrimov for the WBA 154 pounds title. Crawford explained that he wins his fight. God willing, and I win my fight. God willing, and there is a possibility. This means that if both fighters win their respective fights, a rematch could be on the horizon. You got to tell us what's going on, what's on the roadmap for Team Spence. because we want to know what's a door you're going to bring to us. Next, I'm seeing right now, but it looks like probably Pandora since their fight in Las Vegas, neither Crawford nor Spence has fought again. The Las Vegas event was a significant night that attracted a lot of attention from both. Crawford's next test is a fight against Israil Madrimov on August 3rd. This fight will be Crawford's debut at 154 pounds, and it is expected to be challenging. If Crawford wins this fight, he will become a four-weight world champion, which might open the door to even bigger matches. Errol Spence versus the winner of that fight is a large, but one of the most interesting options for Crawford is a battle against Canelo Alvarez. But Canelo has decided to take on Berlanga. Crawford still has his eyes set on the fight. Canelo is currently the undisputed champion at 168 PBS. That was the plan from the start, 47 was hard. To me, I felt. As if a fight between Crawford and Canelo would be a mega fight, given that both are considered among the best boxers in the world. But this fight will be challenging for Crawford due to the significant difference in size. Canelo is naturally bigger and stronger, making the fight. Crawford's trainer Brian Back McIntyre feels Crawford has what it takes to overcome Canelo in an interview with Fight Hub. McIntyre said Bud has got it in him to defeat Canelo. I can see him doing it. It's a challenge for him. It's a challenge for the whole team. But that's what we're in the business for. I know that Bud has the tools to beat him. If Bud beats Canelo, we may damn near retire if you beat the pound-for-pound king. But my mind is on Moff second. At 36 years old, Crawford is approaching the later years of his career. But despite this, there are still many exciting. Still remains to be one of the most anticipated. But for this to happen, Spence must first win his fight against Thunder in October. If Spence can deliver a strong performance, the rematch could become a reality. However, the rematch itself is interesting for many reasons, the most interesting of which is Spence's comments on the fight. When a fighter loses a match, they often look for reasons why they lost, which can sometimes lead to crazy excuses. But for Errol, Spence wasn't hesitant about discussing what went wrong. Crawford won the fight even before it began because of their fight for the undisputed welterweight title in Las Vegas. Spence was knocked down 3 times by Crawford before the fight was stopped in the 9th round. In the post-fight press conference, Spence explained that his timing was incorrect, making him an easy target for Crawford. Spence expressed his insights on the music fight. I got a feel for his strength. Probably like the second round, Spence stated, he's a strong person, but everyone at this top level has some type of power. But I think because my timing was wrong, he was getting me in between shots. Spence realized that Crawford's power was strong, but what truly made the difference was how Crawford's punches landed. Spence's timing was off, allowing Crawford to capitalize on the openings and hit powerful shots. This self-awareness is vital for any fighter wanting to grow after a loss. Has he activated his instant rematch clause? I'm not sure if it's going to be at 54.